All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praise, honor, glory, and fear to Yahweh, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Kadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect striving for salvation during these electrifying times. So I wanted to go into a second edition. Last week when I was at camp, the theme of what I was going into last week was, Yahawashi coming back, because that is one of the greatest prophecies that we can't wait to happen. People in the world say they want him to come back, but they don't understand what does that mean when he comes back. And I'm gonna get into that if it be the spirit of Yahawashi, but what happens to those who don't know what's coming when he comes back? But we that's in the knowledge, we understand what's coming back. So I wanted to get into like a second edition of what it means for when Yahawashi comes back, the things that's going to be taking place. But first and foremost, I'll start off with one of my favorite knowing the time scriptures. I kind of go into this every way. It's kind of like my break the ice, start camp scripture. And of course, it's Romans 13 and 11. And it reads, and knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. Because the time we're in, this is not a time that you want to be asleep. Spiritually sleep. We all physically lay down and go into a sleeping pattern where we're asleep physically. But you want to be awake at all times. When you wake up, you want to be spiritually awake. When you lay down to go to sleep, you're spiritually awake. You send up prayers to the Most High before you lay your head down, and as you, upon rising, you send up prayers to the Most High and giving and praise and thanks for the Most High waking you up, giving you another day to abide in His truth and to push and be a servant, to go out and serve Him and push this word. So being spiritually awoken, there's people that's walking around here and they just walk past, not just me, but other brothers that go out to camp, they just walk past. Those represent the spiritually sleep. Those represent the people that are in a dead state of mind. They don't know what time they're in. They have no idea. The Lord, who's ignorantly known as Jesus Christ, but spiritually we know His true name is Yahawashi, Hamashiach. When He comes, He's coming back. These people don't even think about what that represents or what does that mean. That means, ultimately, the people that's in rulership, you're going down. He's going to snatch all your power, and you're going to be out of the rulership seat. And then He's going to deliver 1/3 in the elect of the Most High's chosen elect. They're going to get beamed up, and then everybody else, that pretty much your ass is grass. The Most High is going to deal with you 2/3 of our nation or your other nations. So I like to open up with that knowing the time, because I just look around. There's all these people walking around, and these people are spiritually they're still enslaved in the mindset of what Esau puts the vibration that he allows to manifest upon society. These people are under that strong vibration. They haven't been, like the scriptures tell you, that the truth shall make you free. They haven't been free to that spiritual state of mind, that dead state of slavery state of mind. So I wanted to go into, like I said, I wanted to get into it. The Spirit allowed me to go into a second edition of Yahawashi coming back. But the scripture I want to get into is, bear with me for a moment. All right, so this is 1 John 3, and I'm gonna start at verse 21. It says, "Beloved, if our hearts condemn us, then have we confidence." Beloved, if our hearts condemn us not, then have we confidence towards Yahweh. Now, I went into last week of having that confidence, because you're going to need a spiritual supreme confidence when the day of the Lord's wrath kick off. When we get into those times, you're going to see majority of what you see people out here are going to be in a bugged out state of mind. They're going to be spiritually unstable, emotional, and they're going to be sensitive to what they see. Somebody gets their hair blown off, you're going to be next to get your hair blown off, because that sensitivity of you seeing someone getting murdered in front of you, your spiritual mind ain't going to be to take off and get moving. You're going to sit there and marvel over somebody that's just dead on the ground. And because the majority of people, you know, we don't see, I mean, some people see it, but on a normal basis, we don't see death on an ongoing, you know, a day-to-day life like you might see in the Middle East. In the Middle East, they see people, you know what I'm saying, get murdered at high rates all the time. I'm talking about from a little kid on up. They see that and they notice that, but they don't bug out on that type of stuff because they see it happen all the time, you know. But here on us, we don't see that all the time unless you're like in the hood and you see drive-by shootings and stuff like that. You may witness it. You know, I've seen things too myself. But the Most High puts you in a spiritual state of mind where you can absorb that when you see it, and you won't be spiritually gone where the Spirit will tell you, hey, you need to get moving, go this way. You'll be guided by the Spirit. So you gotta have that confidence, man, that supreme spiritual confidence in that time, because everything's gonna be happening before your eyes. So you gotta have that confidence. When we read that part again, it says, beloved, if our hearts, heart is the Hebrew word la, which means, it goes back to the Hebrew word la, which means your mind. I'm not sure what the Greek word is there, but it's gonna go back to meaning your mind. And for it says, beloved, if our hearts condemneth us not, then have we confidence towards Yahweh, and whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his sight. And most of our people, I'm talking about 2/3 of the nation of Israel, you know, I look around, I see Israelites all over the place, whether they're riding by in the cars or walking down the street. You know, you're not doing the things that's pleasing unto the Most High. The things that's pleasing unto the Most High is totally absent from your mindset. You don't, and then you go into these harlot houses and you feel that that's pleasing the Most High. You feel like you're worshiping the Most High, when if you would just read the scriptures, you know and understand that the Most High dwelleth in not houses made with hands. And then he hate that you go to these harlot houses, because they teach you to follow man's traditions, which are in opposition of what the Most High stands for. Verse 23. And this is his commandment, that we should believe on the name of Yahawashi, of his son, Bun Yahawashi Mashiach, and love one another as he gave us commandments. So we're supposed to believe upon Yahawashi, because the theme of this second edition is him coming back. When he comes back, you got to believe upon him. You got to have that spirit, like I was doing the things that the scriptures say that will please, you know, Abanawi Yahweh, our Heavenly Father. I was doing these things, and I committed myself, and I took myself out of the world. And he said that he would be with me if I believe upon his son, because his son died on the cross for the sins of the Israelites. And those Israelites that have changed their ways and came into the truth, who the Most High has set his truth upon, set his word and his faith, and given the faith, you're the ones who he's looking to that believe on Yahawashi to escape these times. Why? Because these are times of segregation between righteous and wicked. And the 2/3, you're gonna take on the same portion of what the wicked man takes on, which is the so-called white man. They're and the other nations, they're slated. They're the wicked. They're slated for pure judgment. So if you don't change your ways, the Most High haven't given you that spirit, then you won't have that confidence in that time. You're not believing on Yahawashi. Hell, you might not even know who Yahawashi is, but you're gonna hear about him. You're gonna hear from the men that's out here pushing it. Verse 24. And he that keepeth his commandments dwelleth in him, and he in him. So those who are rehearsing the righteous acts, keeping the law, statutes, commandments to the best of their ability, you dwell in Yahawashi, and he dwells within you. That's why the scriptures say, see Yahawashi. When you see your brother, you need to be seeing Yahawashi, because you and your brother are striving. You're striving together to please the Most High and believe upon Yahawashi. Says, and hereby we know it that he abided in us by the Spirit which he had given us. And he's giving you a spirit He's giving you a spirit of belief. He's giving you a spirit of prophecy, which is Yahawashi. The spirit of as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure. Let me get it right quick, because that spirit is very important. All right, this is Revelation 19. This is Revelation 19:10. It says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahawashi, worship Yahweh. For the testimony of Yahawashi is the spirit of prophecy." So that spirit that he's giving you, if you're going out on the highways and byways and doing the work, he's giving you the spirit to go out and prophesy. And part of the prophecy, you want to prophesy the downfall of America. You want to prophesy the return of our big brother and Lord and Savior Yahawashi Mashiach. And that those who are in power, that they're going to go down and America is going to be destroyed. And you have to prophesy to tell our people who they are, because they don't know. Our people are living under the custom of what the so-called white man has placed on these nations, and our people have fell up under that. So you falling up under that, you're taking on another nation's customs, heritage, and you're taking on their ways, and you discontinue from your own ways. And part of that is you coming back to your true nationality of you being a Hebrew Israelite out of one of the 12 tribes. All the people that you see all these people that's walking by, they don't understand that, because they wasn't given that spirit, the spirit to know, to have the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of the truth, and to go out and prophesy, which is one of the prophecies that prophesied that Yahawashi is coming back. This is continuing on from 1 John, the 3rd chapter, going into the 1 John, the 4th chapter, because that was the last verse in the 3rd chapter. It says, "Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit whether they are of Yahweh, because many false prophets are gone out in the world." And you have that. Start from the Heart of Houses, which is your local church house, your local churches, from all the different denominations, from all the different formulations of Christianity, on down to those who are supposed to be of the circumcision. You're supposed to know that you're supposed to know the truth. And there are false prophets among Israel. "Hereby knoweth the spirit of the Most High, every spirit that confesseth that Yahawashi Mashiach is come in the flesh is of Yahweh." So you gotta prophesy that he came, he touched this planet 2,000 years ago, and he has a return date. Like right now, if you book a flight and you go to another country or another state, you got a return flight to get back home. So Yahawashi has a return flight. And this was booked over 2,000 years ago when he first came. Prophesied that he came 2,000 years ago, and he's got to return because he's not done yet. He has a final stamp and the final to finalize, his return, which is to finalize the job that Yahweh gave him to do, which is to go and take back the power, go deliver the chosen that was given unto him, and go and spread forth righteousness in this world, which we definitely need. Bear with me for a second. My tripod is acting up. Lucky. Back at verse 2, it's verse 3. Every spirit that confesseth that confesseth not that Yahawashi Mashiach is come in the flesh is not of Yahweh. And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world, which it is. You got Israelites out there that don't even deal with Yahawashi. It's like you got Israelites out there that are Muslims. They just think Yahawashi was just some old basic, just it was a regular another prophet. You don't understand, man, that we were adopted back to the Most High because of what the Most High had the mission for him to do, which he completed. Which, if you know, he's going to complete the second portion of that. First portion was to come and to present his body a living sacrifice, which we have to do out here too. And then whatever comes along with that, whatever the Most High has in store for us as far as suffering goes, we have to do that as well. You know, that we present our bodies a living sacrifice. It doesn't just extend to going out and teaching. It extends to whatever happens that you find yourself, whether you gotta, suffer as a martyr, whether you find yourself in a concentration camp and they trying to torture you like the Maccabees brothers, or whether you find yourself out here pilgriming and got to maintain yourself from day to day. Whatever condition you find yourself in is part of the lot that you have to accept and endure it. And that's a beautiful thing, because you got to earn a crown. Crown ain't just handed out. Crown's got to be earned. Like Yahawashi has learned that crown. He has that crown, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, and the scepter is not gonna depart out of his hands. Meaning the rulership is not gonna be taken from him. His rulership is an everlasting rulership, and that extends on down to the scripture talks about how the scepter is not gonna depart from Judah, being the head tribe. Well, Yahawashi is a Judite. And he's the leader of all tribes. So back into verse 4, it says, "Yea, ye are of the Most High little children, and have overcome them, because greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world." Let me read this all together. Let me start up the verse. It says, "And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahawashi Mashiach is come in the flesh is not of Yahweh. And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. Ye are of Yahweh, little children, and have overcome them." So I went into that last week when the scripture's talking about little children. It's talking about the hopeful elect. Those are the little children that the scriptures are dedicated towards. It's not for all of Israel, because all of Israel ain't going to get that. So it's talking about the hopeful elect. It's saying, "Ye are of Yahweh," because why? Because the Most High has redeemed you from among the men, like the scripture saying, Revelations 14. You've been redeemed from of men, meaning pulled out of the world and put into the spirit. The Most High is giving you that spirit that you are Lord willing, of the hopeful elect. So them little children is speaking of you. It says, "Ye are of the Most High little children, and have overcome them, because greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world." And he that is in you is Yahawashi. Tells you that when it went into that a couple verses up. It says, "Therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them." So the world those that are of the world, you go to these so-called Christian pastors, these harder houses, people hear them because they of the world. They're not of the truth. They're not of the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahawashi. They come in the spirit of being a false prophet. They come in the spirit of deception. Whether they know it or they not knowing it, how can you be, you know it. All these church pastors, they know that they pushing lies, but they don't care because they out for filthy lucre's sake. So the world will hear them. It says, "We are of the Most High. He that knoweth the Most High heareth us." So those who the Most High is giving that spirit, from the beginning, that's why when you hear the truth, it resonates with you. It grabs you. It grabs a hold of you. It spiritually grabs a hold of you, and it's here. It's like your mind has been unlocked, and you get it. You hear this truth, you get it. You hear the name, you get it. Like, that's the name. You know it. Like ain't no ifs and buts about it. When I first started to watch truth videos, I used to watch. The apostles weren't online at the time. This is going back going into the summer of 2007. In 2007, you had other Israelite groups that were putting their videos up, but the apostles, they hadn't put their videos up. If I'm not mistaken, they put their videos up in July. But I was watching videos before that, and I used to watch a lot of GOCC videos. And I believe the head of their congregation is Rakah. I used to in Gabar. That's who was. I was listening to them a lot because some of the things they were saying. Now, they weren't saying a whole bunch of wild out there things that they eventually went on to say, but it was just a step on the ladder the Most High had me step on first to get to the top of all the Israelite groups, which was Great Millstone. The apostles and elders of Great Millstone. So I was watching them, and they were saying the name was Ahiah, and Yeshaya was the name of the Lord. The Most High's name was Ahiah, and the name of the Lord was Yeshaya, and it didn't resonate with me. It didn't click. I was like, man, what was that name again? I couldn't even. The Most High blocked it from my mind. Because I used to, when I wasn't in front of the videos, and I was like, man, and I'd be pondering on what I've been watching. And I was like, what was the name? What was he saying the name was? I could not remember it. Because it wasn't for me to remember and to begin to pray in that name, because that's not the true name of the Most High. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, not Ahiah. Ahiah is the Most High speaking of himself. So if you say that, you're saying that you are. And we're not supposed to say that. We're supposed to say he is, or he is to be, which is Yahweh. So the Most High blocked that from me, and I appreciate that. Man, I can never thank the Most High enough, because later, a couple weeks or a month or so down the line, when the apostles got online, actually, to be more frank, I ran into an HODC 12 video on the name, and they broke the name down, and it resonated like that. I was like, damn, that, to me, I was like, that's the name, and they put the scriptures with to back it up. Then I seen the video of it was Nate teaching with I forget the other brother's name, but I believe he's a Benjamite brother. The two brothers that were breaking down the name. I saw that video, and it just hit me like, that's the name, man. Like, I knew it. Like, that Ahiah and Yeshaya just was moved completely out of my name, out of my memory or my knowing of what the name is, and was replaced with Yahweh and Yahawashi. And then when the apostles got online and they started putting their videos up, they was using the same name. It just solidified me. Like, that's the true name, and these are the men that I need to be watching. And they haven't looked back from then. Just getting my teaching from up under the teaching of the apostles of Great Millstone. And that's important, because like I'm going to go back to what it says, we are of the Most High. He that knoweth the Most High heareth us. So when you hear the truth and you of Yahweh, you're going to know it. It's going to click with you right away. You're going to get it. You're going to hear it. Hear it means to understand it. It says, he that is not of Yahweh heareth not us. Hereby knoweth we the spirit of, hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of Yahweh, and everyone that loveth is born of the Most High, and knoweth the Most High. And that's vital. So the next scripture I want to get into is sticking with this concept. This is 1 John 5:14. It says, and this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us. So that's part of it. You can't answer the Most High if you don't know the true name. You don't have the faith and belief in that name. You can't ask it. But if you do, you can ask him, because you believe in him. You believe upon his name, and you ask. And you ask in sincerity. And if we know that he heareth us, whatsoever we ask, we know that we have the petitions that we desire of him. meaning your petition means you asking your request. You know, the scriptures say make your request known unto him. So like it. One moment. This is Philippians 4 and 6. Actually, I'm going to start at 4. It says, rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say, rejoice. Let your moderations be known unto all men. The Lord is at hand. Be careful for nothing, but in everything, by praying and supplications with thanksgivings, let your requests be made known unto him. So when you make your request being made known unto him, like the scriptures say in Malachi, the 1st chapter, when you pray to the Most High, you don't waver with it. You know, if you waver with it or you don't have the belief and your belief is tossed to and fro, let that man not ask nothing of Yahawashi. You gotta ask in faith and belief, and then that's it. You know, like you say you finish it off, polish it off with Aman, which people in the world say Amen, but in Hebrew it's Aman. When you say that, is you're basically saying, as it be done in heaven, that should be done on earth. Let it be done. That the Most High will carry it out. So I'm gonna get back into Shalaki, bear with me. Of Yahawashi coming, because this is extremely important to understand. I look around. I keep looking around at all these people, and this is a basic Saturday for most people. But they get their lives. You just sometimes I sit back and think about the element of surprise, right? To be surprised about something. I mean, you have no, complete understanding of something existing or about to become in front of you. Like all these people, I'm gonna say what I see from my eyes view. On this side of the street, there's a Denny's, and there's a Polo Loco, and there's a Taco Bell. And across the street from that, Carl's Jr. and McDonald's, you have Walgreens and CVS. And then you go back behind here, as used would be where the mall is. Because this is Long Beach Boulevard, which Long Beach Boulevard is equivalent to Broadway, downtown LA. And this is downtown Long Beach. And you keep walking up this street, if you keep walking further down, you run into the beach. But up on Ocean, and going all the way down, say from 5th, 4th, 3rd, 1st, all the way to 1st Street, it's nothing but shopping. It's all shopping, people either eating or people shopping, and they doing, just like basically, the marketplace. This is what this is. People, the basic Saturday, this is what they partake in. But they don't understand that there's a surprise coming for them. You ain't gonna be able to just wake up on a Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon and just go out and do the things you want to do. Because prophecy is gonna surprise you. You might have heard it. You might have watched the video. You might have passed brothers teaching, but you don't take it serious. It's not something that you, the Most High is giving you to have a point of interest in, right? So the element of you being surprised is gonna come upon people. And it's going to overtake people. Because see, I'm going to go into what people in the world, they beg upon, the day of the Lord. See, they'll say, the day of the Lord, or I can't wait till the Lord return. They don't add the final word to that phrase. It's the day of the Lord's wrath. Not the day, come the day of the Lord. It's his wrath, man. Wrath is going to be bestowed upon so many people, man. But this is going into Amos, and I'm gonna read 2 scriptures. One, if you're an Hebrew Israelite, this is exactly for you. And we know 2/3 aren't gonna get it; they're not gonna wake up. But it applies to you. This is Amos 3:1. It says, "Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel. against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, Egypt meaning the land of bondage, right? Slavery. From the Egyptian bondage or Egyptian captivity, even on to the captivity that took place here on the soils of America. You're the same people. It says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. Can two walk together except they be agreed? And no, you can't. That's why if you was any brothers, and I've experienced it myself. If any brothers go down to a Christian church or any of these harlot houses, if you go down there, they're not gonna receive you. They're not gonna say, oh, if you go down there and say, hey, you know what? You believe in the scriptures. I believe in the scriptures. So, hey, pastor, won't you let me get up there and address your congregation? You got a mass following. Got a lot of people following you, coming out every week. You know, I believe they deserve the right to hear the truth. If you allow me to, let me take over your congregation. Let me get out there and speak this upcoming Sunday. Or if you're in a 7-day Adventist or so-called Jehovah's Witness, I know it as I call it Jehovah's Wickedness. They go out on Saturdays or whatnot. They have church on Saturday. So if you ask them, hey, let me address your congregation, they gonna say no. First thing they gonna ask you what you teach or what you believe, and once you start coming into them with the truth, first and foremost, I'm gonna go ahead and let your congregation know, those that are of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, Seminole Indians, those of you Latinos, those of the Southern and South America, you are God's chosen people. You're Hebrew Israelites. So I'm going to let your congregation know, what's their true nationality. Then I'm going to give them, I'm going to let them know that they've been worshiping a false God and all these idols. Cesare Borgia, and worshiping a so-called white God and all the angels and everything. I'm going to introduce them to who the true Heavenly Father is, which is Yahweh, and his son name is Yahawashi, and give them the true image what the scriptures say. If you go into all this and tell me, and also America's going to be destroyed, I have to let your congregation know that. And once you start saying this thing, the first thing he's going to think about is, I'm going to lose my congregation, let you speak to them. They might get up and walk out, and all them ties walking with them. And you know what? I won't have a congregation. But no, you cannot speak to my congregation. Why? The scripture says, can two walk together except they be agreed? They won't agree with the truth. So they're not going to let you address their congregation with the truth. And just like us, we out here teaching, we go out here teaching. If a so-called pastor came up and said, hey man, let me get behind your camera, let me get over there and get to speaking, and let the people who view who watch your videos, let me teach them what I know. I ain't letting that happen. Like, no, we don't agree. You teaching false doctrine. You teaching lies. You're a fox. This is scriptures talk about in Ezekiel. The scriptures talk about Ezekiel the 13th chapter. It's talking about you. You're a sly fox. I'm not letting you speak.